Hello, fellow wanderers. I'm Endry, and thank you for joining me as we wander through a bit more of EQ Titan, a new player tutorial. In today's video, we're going to be going over a bit of grouping, and perhaps if we get to it, a little bit of movement commands and how to maneuver around inside the game with all these characters. So, you've got all your characters logged in. I've got my 6 here. I'm not going to be doing more than 6 for this demonstration, but let's assume that you've got all 18 or 24, however many you have. And you're thinking, well, how am I going to get them in groups? And isn't this going to be tedious? Well, the first time it might be a little bit. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and go onto your main character, whoever you want your group leader for your first group to be, and target one of your people that's designed for your first group, and either go down to your main menu, which is Alt-M, by the way, if you need to open it, and hit Invite, or use your invitation hotkey, in this case, Control-I. You could also do a /invite. Works the same way, and you can just type in the name. Let's do Dreamwarper back there. And as you can see, they'll automatically join your group when you invite them in any of the ways I've mentioned. Let's go ahead and just get everybody invited. And there we go. All right, so that's all 6 of my characters invited. And then at this point, what you'd want to do is move to the group leader for your second group. Go ahead and invite your second group in the same way, your third group, etc. When you're all done, what you're going to do is type /savegroup, one word, and put in a name, whatever you want it to be. In my case, I'm just going to call this one group 4 because this is my 4th main group, and then press enter. And it's going to say preparing to save, group configuration saved. It's going to let you know the command to do this. Now, there's something important to note about the way group commands work in this. A group command always disbands everybody in any configuration and loads them all into the appropriate new configuration. What this means is if you have a group 1, a group 2, a group 3, a group 4, a group 5, and it's just with those one group, any other groups that are already invited will disband. So you have to do a little bit of custom configuration. So in this case, let's say you wanted to get your XP group set up. So save your everyone put together group as, let's say, save group raid or save group normal. Now, go into your first group and you go, okay, that's fine. I want group 1 to get XP. So in group 2, 3, 4, whatever, go ahead and uninvite all of your melee and your casters. Just leave your healers, your bards are fine, grouped up, but don't let any of your big hitters stay up grouped together. Just separate them out of their groups. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Your healers can still heal them because it's all controlled by the bot program. So once you've done that, and you've got all the other people uninvited, go ahead and do a save group, group 1. Now, then you're just going to type in, group normal or whatever. In my case, I'll do group 4. So /group, group 4, in your case, /group normal. Press enter, you'll see it'll disband everybody, and it's going to start to invite people. Once you've got everyone re-invited into the main big group, you're going to repeat the procedure looking at group 2. In this case, you want to uninvite the DPS from group 1, group 3, group 4, etc. And just save each one as group 1, then group 2, then group 3, then group 4, whatever naming convention works out for you. All right, so we got everyone grouped up. Let's look at another couple of commands you could do with group. So first of all, if you type disband all, it does exactly what it sounds like. It's going to disband everybody from the group. So I want to go back to group 4. I re-invite everybody. Now let's talk a little bit about raids. So if you hit Alt-R, you'll open up your raid window. Now, what I'm going to do for the purposes of this, just to kind of demonstrate, I'm going to go ahead and do a disband all. And I'm going to invite this person and this person. And then I'm going to say, all right, let's have, Dreamwarper here. Go ahead and target Dreamwarper. And I'm going to invite Dreamwarper to a raid. So we're going to invite, and there we go. So now we formed a raid group. And you auto-accept raid invites just like you auto-accept group invites. You can change that in your ini files if you really want to, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But in this case, I've got Dreamwarper down here, so they're a separate group. And I'm going to lock the raid real quick. Click Dreamwarper, click 2. And now they're in their own group. One thing to note, because of the emulation of the server, when you are in a raid, you are not in a group. Spells that only work on group members won't work, especially things like Shrink. Shrink does not work in a raid. Anything where you have to do a mysterious voice to move around, which we'll get into actually here in the next video, the group commands don't work. So you only want to run around in a raid when you're actually about to kill something. Anytime you want to get out of a raid, you just do a group command, so group normal. It auto-disbands everybody from raids, re-invites them. Sometimes this bugs out. If it does, the simplest thing to do is do a disband all, find the character who's not accepting invites or who thinks it's still in a raid, invite a random character with that one, they'll join a group, do a disband all again, and then reform the groups, fixes it right up. The other thing you could do is you could zone if you're near a zone line, and that sort of thing. But that's the big thing to know. When you're in a raid, you're not in a group. So keep that in mind. Also, while it does divide XP up across the entire raid, it's set to a really low percentage value. I don't recommend it. Just separate your groups out with group 1, group 2, group 3 for XP groups, and move along that way. All right. Well, I think that covers pretty much everything you need to know about grouping and the group commands and all that sort of thing. Just remember, anytime you do a group command, it is going to disband everyone, so set up your groups accordingly. They are not staged separately as their own group, and then you can just add more in with group 1, group 2, group 3. So pre-configure your groups and you'll be all set. Raids are not groups, and you're good to go. So with all that said, in the next video, we're going to cover a little bit of movement, getting around and moving between zones, and that sort of thing. So until our paths cross again, have fun and be safe, everyone.